would modify this. So watch my screen now. So we're gonna go here just before the colon here, and we need to make this. Okay, let's run this first and try a lowercase f. So to make sure that when we do the changes, that it makes a difference. So it says sorry, lowercase f is not valid, and we know that we want the person to be able to use any f that they type in. So let's go ahead and add an or condition to this, and our variable is called launch underscore choice, or is equal to lowercase f. So in other words, it's pretty similar to what we did for the if, okay, just that we have a different letter here. And if we run this, it should take care of a lowercase f. So let me go ahead and try that out. And it says here is your food. Enjoy the meal. Alright, so there are the changes. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll pause for a few seconds just to make sure everybody's okay with this part before we go to our next topic. So let's go ahead and just create an example of a function. My first function, then we have the curved brackets, a colon, and let's have a print statement. This is my first function. Alright, now when you create a function, it doesn't do anything if you were to run the program, right? Because it's just a function definition. Okay, so the program is going to be blank. But to use this function, we now call the function name. And you call the function name by typing it out with the curved brackets. Okay? Oh, I forgot the curved brackets. And now if we run it, you'll see that it prints what is in the function, because that's what the function does. It just prints. So you have to have an indented space here. Notice that it's not right below the DEF. And to show you that calling this function ran the code and didn't actually just do this straight off on the screen, let me actually repeat this a couple times, and you'll see that each time you repeat it, it's treated as a function call, and it's going to do whatever is inside the function. So if I go ahead and run this, it should print it 3 times. And that's because we have it 3 times. Of course, there's a spelling error in the word function, so it's not going to spell check for you. Alright, let's try to create a second function that does something totally different, okay? So let's see here. Okay, so let's create a totally different function. Let's call this one add 2 numbers. Alright, so as you guessed by now, we use 2 curved brackets there. We have a colon. When we press the enter key, the editor automatically gives us a tab space for the second line. And let's say print 5 plus 5. Okay. Alright, now if we call the function, and how do we call a function? We just type the function name. So let's go add 2 numbers, and then we put the curved brackets, and let's see if we get what we expect to see on the screen. Alright, so it prints 10, as we expect 5 plus 5. What if you want to use variables instead? Alright, so we could use variables instead. We could say print a plus b. But the funny thing is, where are we going to get the numbers for the values a and b from? And here's where we can actually create what are called parameters in our function. So, because we're going to be taking 2 values from the function. And how does that work? It means that we actually put the numbers here that we want to add. So let me put 5, and let me put 3. Okay. And it prints 8. So what happens is that the function brackets are only empty if there's nothing that you're accepting. Right? You call these arguments that are sent to the function, and in the function header you call them parameters. Alright, because values to the actual values, and that's actually a question that you'll get in their Python course in CS1101. Alright, they'll ask you that question: what's the difference between an argument and a parameter? So the parameters are the values of the variables that a function accepts, and the arguments are the literal values of the actual numbers here, in this case 5 and 3. So the good thing about this function is that this function can add different numbers for us. So let me call another one of that function, and let me use different numbers. Alright, because it's going to run the same code no matter what. Let's say 20 and the second number 34. Alright, so if we run this, there we go, it gives us our number 54. Okay. Alright, so what I want to do, let's say we had a function called menu choice, and we're expecting to place the actual choice directly to the function, and then it would still do the same code where it would print out that, okay, you want a drink, okay, based on the choice. Okay, that's the challenge. You're going to create a function that bottles up the code that we had in the first program.